Very good morning, children, and welcome back to the class science subject. Today we are gonna learn. So already we have completed 3 chapters, right? What the body is made of, and then the second chapter we saw is the transport and excretion, and the third chapter is bones and muscles. Now today we are gonna learn the brain and the senses. So I think many of them are having books. So if you are having books, turn to the page number 14. Turn to the page number 14. So in page number 14 you are having the chapter, 4th chapter, the brain and the senses. Okay, the brain and the senses. So you all know brain is an organ. Okay, brain is an organ. So what is meant by the senses? Senses means one of the faculties of sight means you are viewing, பார்க்கிறது. Then smell, hearing, taste and touch. All these includes in the senses. Okay, so today we are going to see about the brain and the senses. Okay, now I think so you can able to see here. So the first line, the brain is like a wonderful computer. See, they are just comparing our brain to a computer, not just a computer, a wonderful computer. It gets information from the sense organs and stores. So what happens? What here happening? So the brain, it just gets the information from the sense organs and it stores it in our memory. It trashes what is not important. Trashes means it damages or it destroys. Okay, so whatever it is not important, it just trashes it. So when we have some dust and all, what we will do? We will just trash it into the dustbin, right? Same like that, which is not important, the brain, it just trashes. So if it is important, what the brain will do? It will just stores in the memory. It can retrieve, retrieve, retrieve any information we may need at any time. So retrieve means getting back the thing. Okay, if I ask you a question like, can you just tell me the unforgettable moments which happened in your childhood days? What you will do? You will just go back to that moments and you will just recollect all those things and you will tell, right? Then, what is more? It helps us think, feel, learn and take decisions. Not only storing and trashing the memories, it just helps us to think, to learn, to take decisions. Okay, next, the brain does not function alone. Definitely, see, the brain alone cannot function, so it needs some help. It has an assistant called the spinal cord. SPINAL, spinal cord. So it needs an assistant called the spinal cord and the messengers called nerves. Okay, so it needs the spinal cord and nerves. Spinal cord and nerves to assist. The brain, spinal cord and the nerves form the nervous system. Like in the previous lesson we studied about the circulatory system. The heart and the blood vessels form the circulatory system. Same like that here. The brain, spinal cord and nerves form the nervous system. Okay, so you may get questions in your examination like this. So you should be ready to answer. Okay, so I will just write and show you how the nervous system is formed. So nervous system. So the brain, then spinal cord, okay, and then what? Nerves. Okay, so nervous system, how it is formed? The brain, spinal cord and the nerves, all three together forms the nervous system. Okay, next. So other animals also have nervous system, but our system most complex. We have the largest brain and the greatest number of nerves. So even animals too have nervous system. Okay, but ours, that is human beings, are the most complex. Complex means many different connected parts. Okay, many different connected parts is said to be complex. So we have the largest brain. So can you tell me what is the weight of the human brain? What is the weight of the human brain? Of course, a male at age of 20, they'll be having 1400 gram. Their brain will be. Okay, at the age of 65, it will just reduce to 1300 grams. Okay, for females, it is just same like male only, but 100 to 150 grams it will be lesser. It differs like that for females when you compare with male. Okay, so it has the greatest number of nerves also. So first we are going to see about the brain. The brain is a delicate organ. Delicate, D-E-L-I-C-A-T-E, delicate. Delicate means easily broken, very soft. Okay, the brain is a delicate organ protected by the bones of the skull. We already saw, right? Protected by the bones of the skull. It is made up of densely packed. Densely means very thick, romba adarthiya. So packed nerve cells. So it is densely packed nerve cells. It has many parts, different parts it has. The largest and the most important of these is the cerebrum. Cerebrum. I'll just write and show you. Cerebrum. C-E-R-E-B-R-U-M. Cerebrum. First one. C-E-R-E-B-R-U-M. Cerebrum. Okay. So the largest and the most important of this part is the brain has many parts, and the largest and the most important is the cerebrum. So the cerebrum has many folds and grooves. The cerebrum has many folds and grooves. Grooves in the sense a depression. It controls. So what does it do? It controls thought, memory, learning and the senses. So what does the cerebrum controls? Here we can see the cerebrum controls the thought. First one. Then memory. Then learning. Then and the senses. These are the things that the cerebrum controls: thought, memory, learning and senses. Next, one part gets messages from the eyes, another part gets messages from the ears. Okay, so one part get messages from the eyes. When you see something, so this one part it will get messages from the eyes, another part get messages from the ears, another part sends messages to the muscles. So some parts will get the messages and the other parts will send the messages. Another part controls our thoughts and so on. So sending messages, getting messages, controlling. These are the actions which is happening in the brain. Now you can see the picture, brain picture. Okay, so This is movement area. This is thought area. You can see from here, thought area, and this blue color is movement area. This light shade green color is touch area. So this full part is said to be cerebrum. This is the largest and the most important part. Okay, cerebrum, full part. So thought area, movement area, touch area. And here, vision area. VISION, vision area. Vision means you are seeing something. Next, this part is, this green color part is speech area, talking. Then yellow color, this part is hearing area. Then this is said to be brain stem. Brain stem. We have stem for brain. And this is spinal cord. So I think everyone can able to see it. So next, now I'm just showing the picture. So you can see brain. This is spinal cord. After the brain stem you will be having spinal cord. Then nerves. You can see the nerves connected like a wire in our body. Okay. Next. So then what to do the other parts of the brain do? So some parts we saw that it will just control the thoughts, it will get the message, it will send the message. Then what do the other parts of the brain do? Matta parts enna pannum? So you will learn about it later. We will only discuss the job of the brain stem. We saw no brain stem here. Now we will discuss the part of the brain that joins the spinal cord. I told you no. This is the brain stem is the part of a brain and it also joins the spinal cord. Okay. The brain stem. What is the job of the brain stem? It controls involuntary actions like breathing and heartbeat. So in the previous class we saw involuntary and voluntary, right? So involuntary means the actions that we cannot control. So naturally it will happen. Heartbeat and all we cannot control. Breathing and all we cannot control for a long time. So these are said to be involuntary actions. We cannot control these actions by our will or by thinking. Actions like writing, running and speaking which we can control are called voluntary actions. I will just write the spelling for you. Involuntary and voluntary. So first is involuntary. Okay. Involuntary actions means, for example, we say breathing. Okay, and then heartbeat. So these two actions we cannot control by our will or by our thinking. Okay, involuntary. Then voluntary. Voluntary means we can control. So what are the examples for voluntary? Like writing, we can control. Then running. Then speaking. So these are the actions that we can control. So if we can control action, it is said to be voluntary. If we cannot control, that is involuntary. Okay. So the next thing is nerves. Okay. So next thing is nerves. You can compare nerves to wires. So you can compare yourself the nerves to the wires. They are formed by many nerve cells joined together. Very complex, very difficult. Nerves run throughout the body. So in your full body, throughout your body, nerves will be there, carrying messages to and from the brain and the spinal cord. It carries messages from the brain, from the spinal cord, to the brain, to the spinal cord. All the works this will do. Next, the ones that carry messages to the brain or spinal cord are called sensory nerves. Sensory nerves. So the ones that carry messages to the brain and spinal cord, to the brain and the spinal cord, not from the brain. It carries messages to the brain and spinal cord. That means sensory nerves, okay, sensory nerves. The ones that carry messages from the brain, you should know the meaning to and from the brain or spinal cord are called motor nerves. So from the brain, first we saw to the brain, now from the brain, here or brain or the spinal cord. So from the brain means that is motor nerves, okay. To the brain means sensory nerves, from the brain means motor nerves, okay. Now suppose someone places a plate of different types of sweets before you. Just imagine someone is placing different varieties of sweets on a plate and placing in front of you. Just imagine sweets. Everyone definitely will love sweets, right? Your eyes will see the sweets and send a message to the brain through sensory nerves. So your eyes know it will see the sweets first, and the eyes will send a message to the brain. How it will send a message? Through sensory nerves, okay. Now we are sending messages through WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, everything. So how the eyes will send a message to the brain? It will send the message to the brain through nerves, okay. So your brain will remember which sweet you like the best. If there are different varieties of sweets, your eyes will go on to your favorite sweet. So which will help you? Definitely your brain will remember which sweet you like the best. Accordingly, it will send a message to the muscles of your arm through motor nerves. So what happens now? So after the brain tells you to take which sweet you like, it will send a message to your muscles of your arm. Your arm muscle. The brain will send a message to your arm muscles through motor nerves. So what happens then? The muscles will then contract and help you pick up the right sweet. So the muscle, it will contract and help to pick up the right sweet and put it into your mouth, okay. So these are the things happening normally when we do any actions. So one part will send the message, another part will get the message, another part will control the actions. So shall we recollect this thing? So how does the nervous system forms? The brain, spinal cord and the nerves. We saw the brain, spinal cord and nerves, right? So brain is a very delicate organ protected by the bones of the skull. So the brain has different parts, many parts it has. So one of the largest and the most important part is cerebrum. cerebrum, cerebrum. So what is the cerebrum? Controls these actions: thought, memory, learning and senses, okay. So we saw that. Next, brainstem. Brainstem is a part of the brain, and it joins to the spinal cord also, right? So the brainstem controls involuntary actions like breathing and heartbeat. Which controls the involuntary actions? We cannot control, but the brain can control the involuntary actions, that is breathing and heartbeat. So we cannot control these actions by our will or thinking. Next, actions like writing, running, speaking, which we can control. Those are said to be voluntary actions. Next we saw that nerves. To what we have to compare the nerves? We have to compare the nerves to the wires. Just compare the nerves to the wires. Okay. WIRES. Compare the nerves to the wires. Okay, because all are formed by many nerve cells joined together. So nerves run throughout our body. For what? To carry messages, to send the messages from this brain, from the spinal brain or spinal cord to the brain or spinal cord. So if it is carrying from the brain, what did we saw? Nerves run throughout the body carrying messages to and from the brain and the spinal cord. So it is what did we saw? It is sensory nerves, the ones that carry messages from the brain or spinal cord as motor nerves. Okay, and for this only we saw the example, that sweets example. Okay, dear children, I think so you all understood this thing. So if the teacher is taking class, you must just go through that what she had taken, even though if she didn't give homework. So for this I will give homework through GCR. You just check and submit the homework. Thank you, children.